presenting a gouache painting piece that was filmed July of 2021. Question is, why is it coming out now? It's the Lily factor. Ding! So, all will be explained soon as to why a summer drawing is being presented where it's, at least where I'm at, still a little cold outside. Basically, to begin getting into the illustration here, is that day it was really warm and sunny out, and I frankly was burning up. And I thought, I want to create a gouache painting using these warm colors from Master's Touch because I just love the colors of those gouache paints. So inspired off the sunny color scheme, I tried to create a sunny character, and not literally inspired by the sun, but just almost kind of a look and feel of summer and warmth. And there was kind of a meaning behind it because in the process of making this drawing, it was summertime. I had just finished a bunch of big projects that were really looming over me. I was putting off creative stuff because I had to get these projects completed. And so they were finally done. This weight was off my chest. But also things kind of ended abruptly, like in places I was at and things I was doing. And it was all a little weird, left me kind of off balance. And so finally I had a moment to breathe and just sit down and draw and create a video for it. So that's what I did. I pick a point of light in the top left corner of the page. I really, just wanted there to be light and warmth because I was feeling this feeling of joy and a glimmer of like happiness and hope because I had finally gotten to just create for the fun of it and not for the work of it, which is what I had been doing a lot of. Not to complain about it because it was a lot of work I loved doing, but it was just for me, and creating this was just for me. I finished the painting and I had immediately went over to the video footage and kind of edited it all together and such. All that was left was to do the voiceover. And so I didn't do it that evening for, I don't even remember what reason, just couldn't, I guess. But I ended up, it being summertime, I traveled with family. And so I wasn't able to do the voiceover. So I thought, when I get back, I'll do the voiceover and I'll upload this to the old YouTube channel that I have here. And well, when I got back from this trip, I was sick. Got sick. And I was stuck in my room, completely isolated for over 2 weeks, though I wasn't completely isolated for that entire time, but I would say for like at least over a week I was pretty much on my own. And it was not good at all. Left me in a pretty dark place, bad position. I wasn't feeling good, and so I didn't do the voiceover. And it's just become that this video has been sitting in my video stream looming over me, incomplete. And it's just not good. And it's just kind of bothered me because I feel I recorded other things even after this and never really made those happen either, though they weren't finished like this was per se. And I tell you, it's just been kind of a burden on me. So I'm like just drawing the line. This is coming out, and it is obviously because you're hearing me talk right now, right? But I want this to be just like what the drawing represented, a glimmer of hope and joy. That this is it. I'm gonna make videos after this. Even so, it's something I've always really enjoyed. Showing the good and the bad, like how weird unflattering it is, how that yellow gouache left the tube, and how I just love to see that pencil smudge from the gouache paints, because I never did use that varnish in the corner. It was just there as eye candy. But anyway, I got a little off topic there. Anyway, this would be my glimmer of hope that I'm getting back to doing the things I love just to do for myself, but also to make other people smile too, because there's always more than one reason for everything that anyone does, right? But anyway, it's because I looked at my channel one day and I saw that the last video I shared was over a year ago. And that really stung. Because it's not that I didn't want to make anything else. It's just that I haven't. And so this is here's the start. But yeah, I'm having a lot of difficulty getting even to do this voiceover. I've tried many different versions from many different months, and I can honestly say every time I stop because it was just too negative. Let's get into the drawing. This character's wearing a sun visor, and she's wearing some fun glasses and a striped shirt and the skirt. And to be completely honest here, I actually own a sun visor just like that the one I'm gonna be drawing here. And I also was actually wearing a striped shirt just like the one I drew on the character, just not the same color. And I have a skirt just like the one I drew. None of which I think I'd ever really wear together, but it's fun to know that this character could pull off what certain articles of clothing I own. But anyway, I used my hand as a reference at one point in this video that you already saw to draw the hand. So I mainly just looked at my hand first, and then I kind of fixed it from there. And you see here, I start with light layers, kind of watered down gouache, and then I start building with darker, more saturated values to really make that skin look rendered and just give it that glimmer of life. So as I kind of briefly and randomly mentioned earlier in this voiceover, I went over the sketch with a light watered down layer of yellow gouache, and instead of, as usually one would do, you would layer varnish over the pencil sketch and then paint over it, but I just went with the water first thing. And no, I don't know if I knew this for sure, maybe I did kind of figure it out as I began, but the water will smudge the graphite of the pencil. But I gotta be honest, I really liked it. Although I don't like as much the fact that I use that particular brush to paint every strap and stripe on this character. Probably could have done without that, but it's not bad. It's pretty brave of me. So a little interesting fact here is the sketchbook I was using was from the Master's Touch brand, and the gouache paints also are from Master's Touch brand. And I looked at my paintbrushes and I happened to notice that they were from none other than the Fine Touch brand. But, you know, Fine Touch, Master's Touch, they're all the same. You know, they're 50% off every other week at Hobby Lobby, so, you know, they're basically the same, right? But, I start kind of going in with red on the skin there. Oh, and this part, I had been like cleansing my brush over and over in that water, and it hadn't changed color yet. So I finally like start hitting the cup, and then you can see how I slowly turned the clear water into Fanta. Yeah, it really did look like Fanta. It's a little deceiving, honestly. So I start adding a little more red to the skin, and I kind of smooth it out. I don't know if like I wet down the brush, or maybe it looks like I have orange on top of it. So I think I just kind of softened it out with some orange. And then I introduce two new colors, white and rose, three, and mauve. And I add those to the palette. It's starting to look pretty colorful on there, and I really neglect to clean that thing. But anyway, I really love that. I think it said rose colored. I used that for like the stripes on the shirt, and it was so pretty. Just oh, and this kills me right here. That one stripe doesn't have a partner, and it will forever bother me. I think if you weren't paying close attention, you wouldn't notice. So my bringing it up has probably put a damper on your view of this character's shirt. But, you know, it may make you think twice when you go to buy a striped shirt. Make sure all the stripes are aligned. Otherwise, you could be walking around with a stripe that has no partner, and that, my friend, is more sad than the fact that this video took a couple months before it was finally released. Now, now that we've derailed a little bit, I have to tilt my sketchbook every now and then to paint the proper stripe, but you know, stop, take a little Fanta break, and resume. This time, I know I turned my sketchbook over for this, as I began the very daunting sunglasses painting. It's kind of funny, I got the line a lot more precise there, and I wasn't painting stripes, and these were definitely much thinner, but I suppose I was just being more cautious. So that's the lesson there, as you may just not be as cautious as you should be when you're not getting the perfect line, because those sunglasses, I mean, they're thinner, but I did get those as precise as one can get with a paintbrush, especially one that thick. Oh, Lily, Lily, Lily. Will you ever make things easy for yourself? Tisk, tisk, tisk. But we're getting near the end there, where I'd started painting some white on top of the skin, but the camera was not looking at that. No, I was distracted by that ink bleed through on the other side of the page, which, you know, you may have noticed this entire time, since it's pretty blatant there, but that was actually a Copic marker drawing I had done on the other side of the sketchbook. And you, guess what? A little bonus here, you are going to be able to see it, because as I was filming this, I realized, oh, I haven't actually finished this drawing. I still need to add like a little glitter gel pens to it, give it some details, touch it up, so I will do that. But that there on the hat, I had grabbed some more white paint to add a little to the sun visor, and I somehow got purple on the brush as well. But it created like this purple and white effect, and it looked really good, so I kept it. And then, because I just don't clean the brush very often, I had a little bit of orange too when I was adding white, and it was a little watered down, so I added that to the skin. Then I added some highlights to the glasses to make them look like they're kind of transparent, but I really did not make much of an effort with that because they just don't look that transparent. But I had some final white touches, and then we're at the brink here. I start adding kind of an attempt to add a pattern on the skirt, but I realized it didn't look like a pattern, so I eventually just kind of gave up halfway and just painted dots on there because it didn't look like a pattern of any sort. Lastly, I continue that purple technique, and I mix the pink color with the white, and I forgot to add the L there. But anyway, here is the finished piece. So let's move away all the supplies and add any necessary touch-ups, and voila! We have ourselves the sunny summer painting that took a while to be completed video-wise. So, yeah, there's the view up close and from afar. And there's that varnish we never did use. And now it's time for the Copic marker drawing. So I brought out some Arteza gel pens because I love to add those on top of any marker drawing because they just work wonders. And if you remember from one particular video, I do indeed love glitter. So, I mean, not to wear, but, to add on art. So that's the finished piece of the marker drawing and our painting. Remember, we all have bad days, or we have projects we intend to complete, and sometimes they're difficult to complete. But the important thing is just to take time, sit down, and do something you love. Even if there's a little resistance to get it done, do it. With that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and may God bless you in your life and your art. Bye!